Hi, everyone. I'm Stephen Michael Smith, and welcome to Music and Performing Arts at Shelter Rock, our Facebook Live Friday night chats. And tonight we're chatting with mezzo-soprano Caitlin McKecheny. Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, Stephen. How are you?
I'm well. It's great to see you. You know, I think of you as the superwoman because because we know you're what, 8 months pregnant. Right.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stephen Michael Smith. Okay, we have to Music and Performing We're having a technical problem Rock, here. Our Facebook Live Adam. Friday night chats. Adam. And tonight we're chatting with mezzo-soprano Caitlin McKecheny. Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, Stephen. How are you?
We're having a technical problem. I'm well. Technical problem. I'm well. I don't know if are we still on the air, Adam? Just had happened, but we had this extraordinary loop of the first few minutes, and it wasn't just, it was played back about 30 seconds late, and then it kept looping and more came in. Anyway,
it was super meta.
It was actually it was quite interesting, but I'm glad that it's over. Are we still on the air, Adam? Oh, it's still happening. Adam, are you listening? This extraordinary loop of the first few minutes, and it was. Are we okay now? Hello? Okay, let's do that. This extraordinary loop of the first few minutes. Will they be able to hear me? Folks, we're having technical difficulties. Stand by. Don't disappear. We can fix this. Okay now? And we'll be back. I'm going to start again. I have no idea what you folks out there experienced, but I think what happened was I'm watching the Facebook Live at the same time as we're doing this so that I can see your chats and respond to you. But I don't think I had muted my Facebook Live thing. And there's a delay. So as we're talking, all of a sudden we started hearing ourselves 30 seconds later, and then it was a loop and it kept going more and more. You may have experienced that, you didn't. But anyway, we're back. And I'm going to say that I'm Stephen Michael Smith, and this is a Facebook Live event on music and performing arts at Shelter Rock. And I'm thrilled to welcome a second time, mezzo-soprano, Caitlin McKecheny. Hi, Caitlin.
Hello again. That was super meta. It was very interesting. It's so nice to be here, Stephen.
This is just symbolic of the world we're living in and the craziness of this time, I have to say, and spending so much time on the internet and Zoom and everything else. Anyway, it's great to see you. And I don't know if it got cut off. I'm happy to say this again. I started to say, I think of you as this superwoman because I know that you're pregnant. You're 7 or 8 months pregnant, more maybe.
Yeah, I've got about 6 weeks left to go. So I'm in what they would call the 8th month.
Wow. And you're doing your doctorate, right? Did you just start doing this? What good timing. I think it makes a lot of sense. That's amazing.
It's cool, and it's weirdly working out, Stephen. Well, and because of this, I don't ever want to say that it's good thing that this COVID situation has happened, but I'm able to do all of my coursework from home, which is much more comfortable considering my current situation. Yeah. It's been interesting.
And you're teaching, yes? Are you teaching online? Do you teach? Yes. So you're doing that. Are you able to do much performing now? You're doing some, aren't you, online? I thought I saw, or some things coming up.
Yeah, there have been some interesting opportunities. My group, the Opera Cowgirls, has been making our own opportunities, and then I was also involved in a really cool workshop with the American Opera Project in a piece called "Letters That You Will Not Get," which is all about women and their experiences during World War I. So there's still art being made in the time of COVID, which is good.
And what do you do in your spare time?
Grow a human. I eat.
So you have a very interesting career, and I find you such a charming and smart and diverse person. You're involved in so many different things. Have you always had this energy? Were you a kid who took on 1,000 projects? Is this you, or is this just the time?
That's such a good question. Yeah, I think I was. I remember as in high school, I grew up in Illinois, and we had to take gym class, but I took choir and art classes. So I would have to go to gym class at like 6:30 in the morning before school started. And then I would be there after school, either in a play or directing a play. And so I guess I've always done a lot of stuff, but it's just fun. I mean, these are things that it's not work. It's just where my curiosity has continued to bring me, I suppose.
So it's who you are, which is great.
Yeah.
What a life to live, to be who you are. So you have would you say that your main career started in opera? Do you consider yourself an opera singer, or just a singer, or what? How do you see yourself in terms of your vocal life?
Yeah, I started off wanting to be the next Joni Mitchell. That was when I was a kid and playing guitar, that's where I saw myself going. Then I discovered musical theater. I really liked that. And when I went to college, I found opera, and I have a lower mezzo-soprano voice. And so opera actually fit better than the musical theater world, just for me. And then,
interesting. More about that. You mean just vocally you felt the
Yeah.
repertoire for your voice, then
Yes, and that's kind of an interesting technical thing to talk about, and that when you are a young woman, a lot of the roles in musical theater tend to be vocally higher.
right.
And they require high belting, and so these roles that were sort of meant for the young 20-year-old did not work for my voice. And so that was sort of the more maternal womanly roles would be the ones that felt good in my voice, but it wasn't what I was ready to play
But you were
yet.
20 years old, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I looked like, I was a little pipsqueak, like it didn't kind of jive. But then in opera, it did sort of work, and I was really lucky right after college to get accepted into the Young Artist program with Sarasota Opera. And I there fell in love with the art form. I think I wasn't fully aware of how incredible the world of opera was. You get some in college, but being a part of a real production with like these real singers, and I remember distinctly, I was in the ensemble of Cavalleria Rusticana and Pagliacci, which are fantastic, and
That's
that
great.
was it. Like, this is incredible. So I've done a lot of opera, but now in my 30s, I've found my way back to some more musical theater, and I love singing all kinds of stuff. So whatever comes my way.
Do you find while you're oh, we're having problems again. I don't know why we started to have an issue. Oh, I think it may have disappeared. I'm going to go ahead and hope that I don't know why we're having an issue, but we are. Caitlin, can you hear the feedback too?
Not really.
Okay, I'm going
Yeah.
to keep going. I'm hearing it. I don't know. I'll try to talk through it. And what I was going to ask you is, I've talked with several people who are, when they're pregnant, that singing production is different because they can sing against uh, the baby in a way. Have you found that
Yeah.
singing is, and how do you find it different?
It's really interesting. Support is a totally new game. I found the middle and lower register to feel just fantastic. Sometimes it's really kind of learning how to use your body in a different and new way because things just aren't in the same place. um, I do find actually sometimes it's a little hard to get a super full breath because this little guy's taking up a lot of the real estate down here. So the low breathing, it's just you have to learn to maneuver it in a new way, and then once he is in this world, it'll be trying to figure it out again. So it's not
That,
bad at the
that
moment.
interesting because that was what I was going to say. And with other friends, they say after the pregnancy, they have to relearn in a way how their body functions. It's so
Yeah.
fascinating. For those of you who are singers know this. Not other. I know we've got people on who aren't necessarily singers, but if you think about it, for instrumentalists, singers, their body is the instrument. So any changes in the body is changing the instrument. So if you're a violinist, it's as if somebody would change the neck or change the pins or change the strings. So it's really kind of fascinating and always it can be difficult for singers because they have to react to all sorts of things that happen physically to them. So
Hmm.
let's listen to some music. You've brought along a clip for us to hear from Tacoma Opera. Do you want to tell us about it?
I'd love to. This was a really fantastic production of Offenbach's La Péricole, which is an operetta um, about a young woman and her lover who get into all sort of fisticuffs. And this young woman, La Pericole, is being forced to marry this fancy politician, the viceroy, who you'll hear Igor Vieira sing a really one line right before this aria that I'm going to sing. And the way La Pericole is not really into this, and so she handles she drowns her sorrows, we'll say. And this aria is entitled, to most people, it's known as the Tipsy Waltz.
Well, let's hear the Tipsy Waltz.
But charming nonetheless. She looks like she'll say yes. Oh, what a meal! So good and filling. And oh, that wine was really very thrilling. I've had too much to drink. I am so drunk, I can hardly think. I'm just a little tipsy, just tipsy, but we'll just keep it quiet. So quiet. My words are slurring, my eyes are blurring. I am so smashed, I don't know what's occurring. Feel like dancing on my toes. I feel like taking off my clothes. Just a little tipsy, just tipsy. We'll just keep it quiet. So quiet. So quiet.
So, Caitlin, you clearly fill the image that a lot of people have of opera singers as these big people on stage who don't move, who kind of just sing out, and that there's no drama or action in opera. I mean, that's such a boring
Right.
scene.
Right. I even laugh looking back at it. It was so much fun to do. And God
Right, you're
bless
so
Noel.
not on stage.
Thanks. What our director Noel Coran just let me go, which is what a gift from a director, and it was so much fun. Yeah.
So earlier you mentioned, just in passing, opera Cowgirls. So there's opera there, but what's opera Cowgirls?
Well, the Opera Cowgirls are a band. I'll just call us a band that started back in 2011, which is crazy to me
Really?
that it's been around. Yeah, it's been around for in some iteration for that long. And we are a group of women, all professional opera people who take operatic arias and music and countrify it. I bring up my guitar and my ukulele and all of these sorts of things, and we put a new twist on opera. And we perform in lots of different places, bars, just like a normal band would. We've also done a lot of outreach and fundraising for opera companies, trying to just show people that opera, like you're saying, it's not what people have in their minds as people park and barking. It can be a lot of fun.
So where did how did this concept, other than maybe some time in a bar, no, where did it come from? Was this your idea?
Well,
How did
actually, it directly came from a bar because I was bartending when I moved to New York. Yeah, I know. All good ideas, right? No, not true. But I was bartending when I moved to New York, and I happened to meet this really wonderful community of rock musicians, and who were playing around Brooklyn. And one singer-songwriter, his name's Bucky Hayes, he said to me one day, like, "Hey, would you open for my band?" And I'm like, "You know that I do opera, right?" He's like, yeah, it'll be cool. And so I swear I've never been more afraid of a performance in my life, because I thought that this room of hipsters was going to like eat me alive, like that they would boot me off the stage. But the opposite happened, Stephen. Like, people love this sound. And I think the first thing I ever sang was the habanera from Carmen. And people just went bananas. And I'm not the best Carmen on the planet, but they had never heard it up close. And people love this music, and it's really fun. And they just maybe didn't want to go and see it, or it was a different way of experiencing it other than the stage, the opera house. And so we were, from there, it has evolved with a really, right now we have a really exciting group of singers who are all women who have sung with the Met, with New York City Opera, like all over the place. Jessica Sandage, Sarah Beckham Turner, Maria Stacy Lindsay, and then Mila Henry, who is a conductor and a pianist, plays a bunch of really cool instruments for us. And so we together have created a lot of fun arrangements, and been doing a lot of experimenting in the past few years.
We heard a clip on one of our earlier chats when Megan Bruce was here.
Yes.
She did something early on. So we've had, I think, actually, let's listen to our next clip. So why don't you tell us, we're going to hear a little opera.
Yes, this is a little Rossini, one of his very famous arias from The Barber of Seville, Una voce poco fa. But rather than being accompanied by orchestra, I am playing a banjo-lele, which is a hybrid between a banjo and a ukulele. And it is accompanied as well by, I believe that there are certainly spoons. I know that for sure. And I believe a mini accordion, as well as some backup singing.
Well, I think we have to hear it. You give me great hope for opera. And you know, a lot of people don't realize that opera was the music of the people. I mean, it was
Absolutely.
common. Everybody went, and we have rarefied it in the last few decades. But it was fun, and everyone knew the arias, and I just love that you
Yeah.
are back. I mean, it's wonderful. So it was no surprise, probably, when about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, one of the members of Shelter Rock, Liz Smith, was in Florida where she spends her winters. And she went to a Unitarian church and they had a ukulele group. And she emailed me and said, "We have to have a ukulele group. And is this at all possible?" And I said, "Well, I don't even know if people will be interested." Sure, well, let's see. So I put out the word and I was a little surprised. We had quite a response, a very good response.
Yeah.
And as things went along, they were looking for someone who could work with them. And I remembered that you had these extraordinary gifts. And so we were fortunate to be able to have you come in and start working with our ukulele group. So, folks, of those of you who are involved in religious institutions, I don't know how many of you are in churches that have ukulele groups, but the Shelter Rock, we have a ukulele group. And I know that the ukulele players are loving it and they're loving working with you. And you've been working with them now about a year, is that right?
It's about a
9 months?
year. Yeah. Yeah. I want to say it started in like at the beginning of 2020 because we got to meet in
That
person a
sounds right.
few times. Yeah. And oh gosh, I am just so grateful that you thought of me because they have been one of the great joys of my year. They're such a multi-talented uh, group of people and kind-hearted people, and it's been super fun. And they've also been so game to keep things going and try to make it work online, which is if anybody out there, I'm sure many of you have tried to do musical things over the internet. It is not for the faint of heart, and you have to commit to that and figure out ways to make it work. And they have um, done it with enthusiasm, and it's been so fun.
Well, they love you, and you've had the vision to help them grow and be musical in ways. I think that surprised even them. So at Shelter Rock, we have a fundraiser where we use the funds to support music scholarships. And this year it's on November 14th and it's virtual. And for the first time, this group has gotten together and they have put together a video. Now, the grand reveal is on November 14th. So you have to tune in, you have to be part of Cabaret to see it. But we're going to give you just a snippet tonight so you can just see a little bit of what's there and also hear our new ukulele group. So let's hear it. That is so great. And folks, joining us now was that wonderful singer that you saw in the upper right-hand corner, Catherine Ripley. Hi, Kat. How are you?
Hello, I'm
It's nice
fine.
to
Hi,
have
How are you?
Kat.
Hey,
you.
Caitlin, how are you, darling?
So,
Good.
so
Good to see
you've
you.
been very involved with this right from the beginning, right? This ukulele group. How did you get involved with it?
Yes, yes. Actually, Lynn Smith called me and said we're doing a ukulele group. Please come. I said sure. And I think you actually started October of 2019, Caitlin.
Did we?
I
Well,
think
neither of us
Wow.
so.
know. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That might be
I think
right.
so.
Whoa.
I think we met in
Sure.
September, and you came the next month. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, so it
And
has been
I
like a
just, I
full
just,
year.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
So,
It's been
Kat,
wonderful. I can't tell you how much we really appreciate all of your help with all of it. Absolutely.
Oh.
It's been a great journey.
One cat deserves a major shout out because when I am not there, she runs the group essentially. She is able to lead because she is also a guitarist. And so if you've played guitar before going to the ukulele, she's on top of it. She's able to lead them in my stead, and she's fantastic, as you've all now seen.
Thank you.
so
Thank
tell us
you. I
about
try.
that.
I try.
Do you have,
What, Stephen?
so if people are interested in it, tell me how you started playing the ukulele. Maybe each of you say how you did it. And do you have to have a guitar background? And
Yeah, I
tell
bought a
me about playing the
guitar when I
ukulele.
was 15 with babysitting money, and played ever since, off and on. There have been times where I didn't play as much. Mostly just played to my children and then my grandchildren until I joined UUCSR, and then I went, "Oh, you can sing?" And then it was with you, Steve, and then again, oh my goodness, thank you. Being in the choir has just been such an amazingly wonderful part of our lives, and how much we miss being able to get together with
Mm.
everyone. But like Caitlin said, we're doing the best we can with doing it online, and I think
Now,
that it's working pretty well.
do you
Yeah.
have people who have
And
had no musical backgrounds who have joined you? Do people have to have a background to join the group, or?
no, absolutely not. We have
Yeah,
people who
it's
never picked up an instrument ever, and then we have people who have lots of experience. But no, it. We have wide range of
it's
skills.
it really does span the gamut. And you know what? I think that adds to the group in a way because I'm certain that those who for whom playing an instrument is new, they just grow exponentially because they're around people who have really incredible experience. Um, but we're now experimenting with making sure that we have times that we spend with those who are more beginners, and we find ways um, to simplify for those who are starting out, and then you can find ways for those people who are able to rock out to do so, and the layering of the two actually I think enhances the music. At least I think that is certainly what happened
Yeah,
with
and
Over the Rainbow.
and people have really grown. I mean, Nance and Jane and Charlene. I mean, they really step up. A Gail. They really,
Oh
really
my
do
gosh.
step up and do a lot of things for the group. They really
Yeah.
do.
So, is
Yeah,
there room in this
it's a
group if
team.
people who are listening that might want to join? Are you accepting new members, and what do they have to do if they want to? Can they come and just listen? Well, I guess maybe you're doing virtually, but can they listen, or are you taking new members? What's
Yeah.
the yeah
Yeah.
You mean how to actually join us?
yeah? How would I join if I wanted to
It's
join?
on the list. I guess go to UUCSR to the events, the menu, and then events, and then we're listed.
Yeah, and I
We're
think that
listed.
would be
So it's a
that's actually
Zoom
a
meeting.
mhm. And that's a great idea, Stephen, to you could probably have somebody come and just watch a session. And I'm happy to meet with anybody for a few minutes before or after to sort of talk about what that is. And the beautiful thing about the ukulele is that you can get a gosh darn nice instrument for less than $100.
Really?
It's so oh yeah. Yeah, the ukulele that I have here, my brother gave this to me for Christmas, and It's very nice, but it's a great instrument. I've used it a ton, and they're not that expensive. So
Wow.
it's okay. You don't have to be like, I'm going to learn to play guitar, and then it's like, I have to drop at least $500 or something like that. It's much more of a manageable experiment, if you will.
And it's easier than the guitar. It is
100%.
easier to play than the guitar.
And if you have played guitar, the ukulele is 4 strings, guitar is 6, and the strings are not tuned exactly the same, but they are in the same relationship to one another as the guitar. So the shapes are similar. So if you have facility, if you've played any guitar before, if you know any chords, they will translate in a way. So it's an easy thing to transition to, even if you picked up a guitar once and learned 4 chords. Still, there's a lot that'll translate.
Great. So I'm just thinking, we've been in this pandemic now for 10 years. Is it 10 years we've been in this pandemic?
Feels like it, yes.
But as we go into the winter months, I know that people are feeling exhausted and bored and frustrated. And we were in a meeting last night, Kat and I, and someone was saying, try new things, and probably as we go into these darker months, folks out there, if you're interested and you have time at night, and you want to play an instrument, or you want to learn something, or you just want to watch other people play, I urge you to get in touch and check it out.
Wednesdays at 6. Wednesdays at 6.
Wednesdays at 6. And if you go ahead, I'm sorry.
Second and fourth Wednesdays of the month.
And as Kat said, if you go to UUCSR.org, that's the website. And if you traverse around the website, I'm sure you can find the information. And if you can't, I think you can communicate with UUCSR directly, and they can give you more information. And there's an information to call. There's a phone number there. And just tell them you're interested in the Ukes group. And who knows? It may make you an opera cowgirl. And that's my segue back to another piece of music. How do you like that? And I hadn't seen this, I hadn't really reviewed it, but I see that I think Jessica sings in this, does she not? Jessica Sandage?
Yeah, Jessica Sandage. Yeah, she sings in this. Yes.
And the last time, folks, at Shelter Rock that you heard Jessica, who I don't know if she's on tonight, but she's one of my favorite people and just an extraordinary singer. But you heard her 2 summers ago doing a little Strauss. So anyway, let's hear tell us what we're going to listen to.
So this is a song called Pearl Snaps and Pearls, which I actually wrote. And it is I guess I wrote it to be sort of a theme song for our band. And all of the verses, you will hear the Cowgirls describe themselves in a way, and they are all our real stories. And then there are little surprises within this faux country song.
Oh, wonderful. And I should probably say, when Jessica sang the Strauss, it was the 4 last songs. So we went from the 4 last songs to now we are doing Pearl Snaps and Pearls. Let's hear it.
Well, I hail from Amarillo, Texas. So you know that I can handle anything. From handle to howdy, you know that I'll be rowdy if anyone will let me sing. You know that this cowgirl's gonna take Puccini for a whirl. I got pearl snaps to go with my pearls. I grew up playing the blues just north of sweet home Chicago. But sultry bizarre seduced charming with her spicy habanero. You know that this cowgirl's gonna take BC for a whirl. I got pearl snaps to go with my pearls. Obviously I'm the one from California, for no other reason than I'm a token blonde. But blonde jokes aside, I'll take you for a Valkyrie ride. You better watch out, Votan. You know that this cowgirl's gonna take volume for a whirl. I got pearl snaps to go with my pearls. Way back when I grew up in Philly, where I learned to play the tiny keys, and now I play Mozart in so many ways. My melodica would bring him to his knees. You know that this cowgirl's gonna take Mozart for a whirl. I got pearl snaps to go with my pearls. Colorado was once my home, where I grew up singing country songs. But that's before I knew the allure of opera and train. So come on, sing along. You know that this cowgirl's gonna take opera for a whirl. I got pearl snaps to go with my pearls. You know that this cowgirl's gonna take opera for a whirl. I got pearl snaps to go with my oh mio papino. I got pearl snaps to go with my Toyota. I got pearl snaps to go with my pearls.
That's just fabulous. So great.
Thank you.
The two of you are amazing. I think you both just embody the joy of music and making music and bringing it into other people's lives, and that's such a special gift, especially now when people are so in need of the arts. So thank you for all you give, and thank you for what you do. And Caitlin, it's just
Thank you
really
both. Thank you both
great
for
to
all that you
connect with
do.
you. Well, you know, the arts and music, and I will do my little spiel, which I do. These are such hard times for artists, folks. And if you can help support, if you're involved in arts organizations locally, I hope you'll remember them now and try. Money is needed for lots of causes, but a lot of arts organizations will not survive. The only way they'll survive if you keep constant support during these very difficult times. There are so many artists who are simply not working, and now not working for a year, now maybe 2 years. Imagine in your career if your work just stopped. What would you do? And that's happened to a lot of us. The work has just stopped. And these are people with tremendous education, years and years and years of education and experience, and to no fault, it's no one's fault, but it's just the reality. And for some reason, in some odd way, singers and musicians are the ones that are really caught in the bullseye. So as much as you can support artists during this period, please try to be proactive. And as things start to open up, when they safely open up, please step forward as much as you can and support the artists and support arts groups. So before we go, we're going to kind of wind up here. Now that you've had your taste of some music, the music continues tonight. Kat, who's with us and you just heard, is singing in part of I guess it's said it's a dramatic presentation and sing along, and this is about suffrage at 100. Kat, do you want to say anything about it?
Oh, it's a wonderful presentation by the women's group at UUCSR, and really, really worthwhile listening. It's just amazing how women had to fight and how they really suffered to get us where we are today. And sometimes we don't realize how much they did. So it's educational, and then I give a little bit of relief in between with a kind of a sing along. 3 of the songs are to well-known tunes with different words that are pertinent to what the suffrage is. I actually used to sing these on marches. And then one is a song that was written more recently by Joyce Roos. And it just, I had the hardest time getting through singing this song without crying. It was so hard. So it's very touching, really.
And it's important, you know, and the fight goes on, unfortunately, like a lot of fights. You know,
Yes.
we have to keep vigilant and aware. And so this is very important. This is Suffrage at 100. It starts at 8 o'clock, and you can hear it if you go to the website. Again, that's uucsr.org. And I'm sure there's a link there. Also, it's on YouTube. And so if you go to YouTube channel, all you need to do is search UUCSR, UUCSR, and that stands
Suffrage
for
at
the
100.
Unitarian Universalist Congregation at Shelter Rock. So if you put that in, you'll get to our page, the UUCSR page, and then you'll find Suffrage at 100 on there. I'm sure you'll have no problem. So either our website or the UU channel. So thank you both for being here. Caitlin, thank you so much. You bring such
Thank you for
joy into so
having
many
me.
people's lives. And we've at Shelter Rock, we've had the good fortune. Not only does she work with the ukulele group, but she has sung with us as well as a section leader and soloist. So we feel blessed to have you part of our community, and you're enriching us in
Absolutely.
so many ways. It's just,
Oh,
it's great.
you guys have such a magnificent community. I'm honored to get to be a part in any and all ways. You guys are so wonderful. So, and thank you for having me here this evening.
Thank
Really
you,
an honor.
Kate.
All right, folks. So 8 o'clock, you got a few minutes. You can go get a little something to eat and get a glass of water. And 8 o'clock, Suffrage at 100. Thank you again. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on another Friday night.
Good night.